Let's go on a journey. We'll learn about legends and find spooky stories. We'll learn about legends like Bigfoot, hybrids like the Goatman, the Mothman. Who knows what we'll learn and find on this journey? All kinds of monsters. Who knows what we'll learn along the way? There's so many legends out there, so many to learn about. And we'll learn about legends that we probably didn't even know about together, and come upon stories that'll scare the pants off us. So let's go on this journey together.
It's Autumn from Myers Paranormal. Welcome back to our scary stories for our spooky season. This week, you don't see a book. I thought I'd go find stories elsewhere. So let's get started. The first story is called, I don't know the name of it. Let's call it The Breathing. So, two kids was left home alone, and the rules was to keep the doors locked and to keep one of the house phones on them at all times. So they took their cordless phone downstairs in the basement, and they was downstairs. Playing their video game. They was all into it, just playing their video games, Mario Kart, whatever, or even scary video games for the scary season. But then there was a phone call. Ring, ring. And they picked up the phone because back then there was not a lot of spam calls or anything. So they picked up the phone. Hello? And it was one of their buddies. Hey. Oh, hello. And they was talking. And while they was talking, there was this faint breathing. And their friend on the other end's like, why are you breathing like that? They're like, that's not me. So they keep talking, but the breathing just keeps happening. So they try to keep talking, but the friend just keep getting annoyed from the breathing. So the friend's like, I can't take it no more. I'll talk to you later and call back. Maybe it'll be figured out. So he hangs up and he's like, that's weird. And he hangs up the phone and he's like, he looks over at his brother and be like, that was weird. We heard breathing on the phone, but it wasn't on his connection. And it wasn't me. And his older brother's like, dude, don't you know that could be any of the other phones? Somebody can pick up a receiver from anywhere in the house and be breathing. And that's when it hit him. Was there somebody in the house? Because they're alone. And they looked at each other. The other brother put down his controller and he lifts up the phone. He's scared. He's shaking. At first he didn't hear nothing. And he was hoping it was just the one thing he was begging to hear was the dial tone. But he didn't hear that. It was silent for a minute. And then he heard it. He drops the phone and he's like, there's somebody in the house. And it's not like they could call 911 because there was no cell phones back then. And the person was on the other line, so that wouldn't work. So they knew they would have to make a run for it. They would either have to make the run for it or be brave enough as teenagers. The oldest was 18, the youngest was 15. So they're like, let's go check this out. Which was crazy. I wanted to make the run for it. So they went looking. And they decided it couldn't be the front room because they had that receiver. So they went into the kitchen where it was attached to the wall. And they went upstairs. They had to go through the front room. And they opened the kitchen door. And they peeked in the kitchen. And there was nobody there. And the little brother's like, let's see if they're still in the house. Like, what? I'm gonna pick up the dial. No, you don't do that. He did anyways. So he picked up the receiver and hoping to hear that dial tone. And he didn't. All he heard was, hello, boys. I'm waiting for you to find me. And they just dropped it, and they dropped the phone. I'm not going to drop nothing else, I'm afraid. And it was just hanging there by the cord. And they're like, should we just leave? And they're like, no, we got this. We can't have this intruder in our house. No, we be boys. We have to be brave. We can't run. So they decided it's time to go to the office. So they went upstairs to the office. And they opened that door. And they peeked in. And there was nobody there. And they're like, I guess we have to pick up this one. No, you don't. No, you don't. Leave. The older brother's like, hello? You're not in the office. Come find me. So they keep going. What was next? The next one was the bedroom. So they decided to go in their parents' room. So they creeping into the bed. This was the last one. For sure he'd be there. And the brother's like, wait a minute. He's like, I gotta grab something. And there was nothing in the office to really grab. So he just grabbed something off his dad's desk. The closest thing. And it was a gnome. So they go into their parents' bedroom. And they went to open the door. The cat just ran by at their feet. But there was no reason by the phone. So to like, is that it? Can we call for help now? They know we here. This is the last receiver in the house. So we have to call for help. So they picked up that phone. Waiting for the dial tone, but it wasn't there. It was just that old time forsaken breathing. It was like, you didn't find me, boys. I'm not even in the bedroom. And I'm like, but this is the last receiver. Where are you? I'm in the attic. And they was dead silent. There was no receiver hooked up in the attic. So how was he calling for the attic? Should they keep going? Should they leave? And they was getting tired of this. But as it showed, they decided gonna keep going. So they pulled down the ladder. And they started climbing up there. They got the flashlight. Started climbing up there. Looking around. They're looking. They don't see nothing. They went deeper into the attic. Wondering, where's this person? How did he call from up here? And the next thing they know, they heard a thump. They turn around. And it was the attic. The stairs was slammed shut. Oh no. And they're freaking out. Next thing they hear is the breathing. Whatever it was, it showed them up here. They didn't know what to do. All they knew was they needed to move away from it as far as they could. So they kept moving forward. And they could hear a faint like on the phone. And then all of a sudden, the flashlight started flickering and then it went out. And now it's pitch black. And now they didn't know what to do. All they could hear was the heartbeat going, thump, 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 and the breathing. And it was so pitch black, they could not tell which way they was going. If they was going towards the steps now, or towards the attic window. They didn't know. All they knew was they were scared and that they should have left the house. And suddenly, the breathing got louder. They stopped. They were just frozen in fear. And the next thing they know, the next thing the older brother knew, somebody was breathing on his ear. He was frozen in fear. He couldn't do nothing. He could feel his heart in his throat. He was so scared. He took off running through the attic. He didn't know where he's going. All he knew, he needed to get out of there. He was terrified. He knew he was falling. He found the ladder. And he fell through it. And he went a tumbling. And he hit the ground. He hit the ground really hard and broke some bones and hit his head. It knocked himself unconscious. And he lied there. Until his parents got home. Until the next day. And they called the police. They called an ambulance. They didn't know what happened. And they saw, all he knew was the attic door ladder was down. They didn't know where the brother was. The dad went up looking for the brother. He wasn't up there. And they didn't know where the brother was. There was no sign upstairs, up in the attic, nowhere in the house of the brother. And when the younger brother came to, he told him of everything that happened. But they just could not believe him, because how was he talking on the phone? How was he talking on the phone from the attic? There was no receiver upstairs in the attic. So, the police, nobody could believe him. So, to this day, nobody believed him. To this day, his brother's been missing. he always wondered, where did the man on the phone take his brother? And to this day, his parents wonder what really happened. What was they doing? Did his brother just leave home and he was just horsing around and fell down the stairs? I guess nobody's gonna get their answers. So, thank you, y'all, for listening. That's it. I know y'all probably think it was crazy. I tried my best. I hope y'all liked the spooky story. It was longer than I thought. I was wanting to get more stories in there, but I guess one to do. Until next time, bye y'all.
You're watching Myers Paranormal.